Hello, my beautiful people. So today in this video, I wanted to share an intuitive message. So I feel like these are the messages that are like needed right now in the world. This is what people seem to be really, I feel like attracted to and needing. And so I did a little meditation before this video to tune into what it is that the collective needs to hear right now. And the whole thing is like I'm going through a lot of these things as well that I'm tapping into, and if you have found this video and the title resonated with you, that means that you and I are kind of on the same page, right? We're on the same frequency, we're on the same level, because these are also things that I'm going through, that I'm sharing, and you're resonating with it. So it's like we are on the same level. So I'm really happy that you found this video, and I really hope that it helps you in some way. So the message that I got today is this energy of like you want to break free from society. You just want to be free. I feel like there's a lot of things that you're noticing in our world and in your particular environment in specific that, I don't know, I just feel like you're over it. I feel like you hear people's conversations and you're just not resonating with them. You see things on social media and I don't know, I feel like you're having this realization that most of the world is asleep. And it's not like a judgmental, like, oh, I'm awake and you're asleep. It's just like the realization of the truth of our world right now, of what's going on. And you don't want anything to do with it. That's what I'm feeling. Like you don't want to be a part of it. Okay. And so it's like there is this battle, because I feel like you do want to bring light to society. You want to be, a peacemaker. You want to be a change maker, change bringer, right? But there's also this energy of like it's draining you and you just want to escape and isolate. So the message that I was getting is that you are going to be free soon. Okay? You're going to be free. And being free, can mean different things for different people, but I feel like this freedom that you're going to feel very soon, it's like you're no longer relying on society, you're no longer relying on the system, you're no longer feeling like you don't belong or like you feel super isolated. You're gonna feel free, but still able to impact the world in a positive and powerful way, okay? So I have my notes here because I was meditating and I was like writing them down, but some of the stuff I was getting is like, I don't know, even like you just like being on social media and seeing how people are doing relationships, right? Like, those like relationship like thing trending, like couples reels and videos and stuff, where they just like share their relationship, just like the things that they're doing. It's like you think of yourself and you're like, I would never do stuff like that with my partner. That's not stuff that I resonate with. Like, yeah, it's entertaining, but it's like not the life I want to live. Or just the things that people are into nowadays, what's going viral. It's just, you're realizing that it's very surface level, it's very superficial, and it's not the way that you live your life or you want to live your life. I'm also getting this message that you feel like the black sheep of society, okay? The black sheep of your surroundings, your environment, wherever it is that you work. Like maybe you don't really fit in. Maybe you don't really belong. Like people don't get you. And I'm getting this energy that people are really drawn to you and they're really intrigued by you and curious about you and maybe even attracted to you. But at the end of the day, like, you don't relate, okay? That's why they're so intrigued by you, is because they don't understand you and you guys aren't the same, and they're like, you're like this different type of like species, of a human. And I just feel like you're not truly understood by the people around you, by society, and almost this feeling like you're longing for your soul tribe, okay? You're longing for people who truly see you and get you and are kind of on your level and on your same page. So, yeah, I feel like it's hard for you to connect with people, okay? And I also feel like people really do admire you. Like they look up to you and look to you as like an inspiration maybe of how to be authentic or how to live an empowered life, or how to live a spiritual life, or a clean life. But it's like they struggle with it. And when they realize that they can't do what you do, they become jealous of you. And then that's when, you know, the energy turns pretty toxic and negative. And I feel like you feel this on a deep level. Like, you feel people's energy on a deep level. You can't just like disconnect from that and detach from that, because I feel like you are very intuitive and you are very empathic. And so it's just something that you kind of live with, right? And so maybe this is why you feel like you want to escape from society, because it's too heavy for you. Perhaps you are a highly sensitive person where you feel everything on a deeper level, or you're empathic, right? Psychic even. And it's just really hard for you to keep your energy pure. So I feel like in your free time, when you don't have to be in society, you spend a lot of time alone. You know, you isolate. Maybe you spend time in nature, in peace, in quiet, maybe just with a few select people that you vibe with and you trust. Maybe in engaging and indulging in your hobbies and your passions, and in making a positive change in the world in some way. So I feel like this is how you balance out that energy. But I am sensing that it's like you're kind of sick and tired of this society. You're sick and tired of how everyone is living their life, and that you have to be a part of this system, maybe for money, maybe for some other, you know, thing that it's providing for you, right? And I'm not saying like to be completely free of society, like live off grid in the forest, right? Like, we need the system, we need society, we need people. Like, it's all, I don't feel like you want to not be a part of society. You just don't like the society that we live in, right? It's not necessarily that you don't want community. It's like I feel like a lot of you are starseeds, and a lot of you, like, you're on this earth, and the way that you function, the way that you think, the way that you live your life is like, it is a little bit like more upgraded and elevated and beyond what our society is doing and how most people are living their life. And so you feel like you don't fit in. You're like, why the hell am I here? You know, like, and you're here because you're here to bring change. You're here to bring transformation. You're here to be the example, okay, of a new earth. Okay, that's why you're here. You're here to show them how it's done. But in order for you to show them how it's done, you have to be the trailblazer. You know, you have to be the initiator. And that takes a lot of courage. So the message that I was getting is that right now is a time for you to release. Okay, there's a lot of releasing that you need to do right now. A lot of detachment, a lot of shedding, like whatever it is that you're still attached to. When it does come to like society, what's normal, like social approval, fitting in, belonging, and things like that, I feel like it could be coming from, you know, childhood wounding. So there is some things to work through here and to truly release. And it's not really time to like take action right now. It's not necessarily time to know, you know, where you're going or know how it's going to be done and who you're becoming. But I'm just feeling like you're going through this really deep transformation where you are birthing into a new you. Okay. And I'm feeling like the new year, 2026, is going to be huge. Okay. It's going to be a huge change collectively for a lot of us. And you're finally going to step into your power. And I feel like you've already been doing this. I feel like you've already been shedding your old self, you know, moving into this new identity. And the new year is going to help you to bloom into that. And I feel like the new year for you is really going to be about independence, about your freedom, and about being that trailblazer. But this time around, you're not afraid anymore. I feel like you've always had this in your soul. You're like, I don't fit in, I don't belong, I'm not like other people. And I feel like you've accepted this to some level, right? Like you've accepted it, you know, and you've accepted like the way that you live your life, but you haven't been able to completely break free. And so that freedom can look like, you know, I feel like some of you can be moving somewhere where your soul just like the place where you live aligns with your soul. So if you're living somewhere that's really toxic or chaotic or busy or like a big city, perhaps your soul will call you to, you know, somewhere near water or near the mountains or somewhere in the countryside or more peaceful. Or even if you do want to, you know, live near the city, maybe you'll move into, you know, further into the suburbs where it's like more quiet. Maybe further into nature where you can just be still. Perhaps for some of you, this is about starting your own business and freeing yourself from the system, as in like working for other people, right? Like having an employer, being an employee, and having to depend on this. And then while you're at work, you have no choice but to be a part of this society, and not even society, but part of that particular environment that you have outgrown, that you don't resonate with, but you have to be there because you're there to make money. And so you have to listen to these conversations. You have to have these conversations with people. And it's not that you think you're better than people. It's just, I feel like you operate on a more conscious level and you're just more aligned with your soul. Like you have woken up to the truth of who you are, and you live a life that's aligned with your soul, and a lot of people haven't. And this isn't like looking down on them or judging them or anything like that, but I feel like a lot of people in the regular world are not aware of their inherent power and that they are divine beings, right? And so it is this separation energy, and that you are surrounded by, even though you see the truth, you have to still engage. And there's a lot of, competition. There's a lot of greed. There's a lot of jealousy. There's a lot of talking shit and gossip and all of that you are, I feel like, just over. And so for a lot of you, I feel like you're going to change jobs, careers, and perhaps start your own thing. Be self-employed if you've already been working on that. I feel like this is going to be the year where you truly step into that full time. You're going to be working for yourself and making your own decisions, where you don't have to listen to other people, and you can do what it is that you feel called to do. You can do what lights you up. You can do something that creates a difference and makes a difference in the world and in people's lives. I feel like you're going to feel very inspired. There's just a lot of good positive changes that are coming. And the other thing that I was getting is this feeling of maybe loneliness, right? Feeling of like not belonging, and no one gets you, and no one really truly lives on that same frequency that you live on, or trying to live on as much as you can, still being a part of the matrix, right? So I feel like you're going to start to align with your soul tribe, okay? You're going to start to align with your soul people. Start to attract your community, people who are like you, who think like you, who want to change the world, who live consciously, right? Who live spiritual lives, who live authentic and true to themselves. People who are into personal development and health, and viewing life as sacred, and having a connection with God and the universe. Like, I feel like you're going to be finding your people. Okay. And all of these three things can happen, or it can happen, individually or whatever, but I just feel like there is a big shift that is coming in your life that is going to make you feel more free. Like you're not stuck, okay? Like you don't have to be a part of society if you don't want to be, or at least there's going to be just a lot more freedom with it, okay? If you are obviously still in society, unless you are genuinely going to live off grid. If you are still, depending on the system, it's fine, but I just feel like you're gonna have a lot more control over your life and yourself and the choices that you make. I feel like a lot of that will be financial freedom, because you're gonna have freedom of money, but it's also gonna be like work freedom, where like you don't have to follow the rules of some organization or establishment or corporation, but you get to make your own rules, okay? But I think with this big physical external change that's coming into your life, it's coming from a deeper inner place of transformation. Like it's coming from you finally stepping into your power. I feel like, for the last, maybe even like, it's been like a whole 9-year cycle, because we are numerologically in a 9 universal year. And I just feel like this is the end. This is the big release for a brand new, fresh start. So I'm getting like several years you could have, been wanting this, or been wanting a change in your life, or always felt like you were meant for more, or like you have this power within you, but you're just so afraid to exercise it. Or I don't know, like there's this version of you that is so powerful that you have been waiting to step into, but every time you tried, it's like something went wrong, okay? Like it didn't work out, something distracted you, you got into this relationship, you had to move, financial burdens, the pandemic, like, I don't know, there's just always something that just like didn't allow you to go full force into this new life that you have been trying to create for yourself, this new version of yourself. And maybe there was a lot of fear that was holding you back, maybe there was still a lot of childhood wounds that you haven't looked at and you haven't truly addressed and healed. And so those were your subconscious blocks that were holding you back. Maybe it wasn't something physical. It was your own subconscious self, kind of keeping you small. But what I'm sensing here is like you have learned all of that. You've learned a lot of lessons. You've done a lot of healing, a lot of shadow work and addressing those things. And now you're at a point in life where you're ready. You're ready. You're ready to step into that beautiful next level, beautiful higher version of yourself. You're ready. That's what I'm hearing. That's what I'm feeling. You're ready. And it's happening in 2026. This is your year. This is the year that it's happening. So right now, if you're watching this, you know, live or whatever, like as I'm uploading it, it's December 2025. And energies might be brewing. You might be feeling this antsy, right? You might be feeling like, oh, okay, I need to do stuff. I need to make changes. I need to step in there. Like, I'm so excited. Like, I don't know. The energy might be very potent right now. The energy might be very active, but it's not time yet. It's not yet time is what I'm hearing. It's like there's still releasing that needs to be done. Okay. It's like this final release. Just sit in the energy of release, because I know you're so excited to get to that next level and to be there already. And I promise you're going to get there, and it's going to happen sooner than you think. But it's not going to happen if you force yourself into that energy and you don't release the things you still need to release, because then it's going to keep coming up and like blocking you, right? So I feel like you need to sit in the energy of just the transition. Like you're transitioning from this person to this person, from this life to this life, and you're in that transition right now. I feel it. Okay? And while you're in this transition, just be in the transition. Allow yourself to be in that. As uncomfortable as it is, you know, as much as you already want to be here, and you're no longer here, right? You're here in the middle, in between two worlds, and just sit in that energy. Okay. So I feel like what you're being called to do is to just rest a lot more right now, do a lot of meditating, a lot of journaling, a lot of introspection, just like going within, going for walks in the morning, you know, for like developing some sort of like a healthy routine where you're taking care of yourself, honoring yourself, maybe isolating yourself a little bit more from people. Although I know it's really hard because it's the holiday season, but that's another thing is like, I think it's the holiday season that's like really triggering this feeling of like, what is our world, you know, and really making you see things differently. And like, why do people celebrate the things that they celebrate? Why do we have these traditions? Why do we, you know, follow these rules that don't even align with a lot of us, okay? Like for me personally, like I boycotted Thanksgiving this year. I said, I don't really feel called to celebrate, especially not in the way that we're made to celebrate, right? So I rented a cabin in the woods with a friend, like in the mountains, and we just hung out, we played games, I cooked steak and veggies, and I did nothing traditional, and it felt really good, you know? And I didn't do it to be like, fuck you society, I'm doing something different. It was just what I felt called to do, you know? And I'm probably not going to celebrate Christmas. I'm not feeding into it. And I'm not saying I don't believe in the jolly holiday spirit, love and light, all of that. But there's something about, there's an energy in the air. And I think you feel it too, especially if you're resonating with this message. Like there's an energy in the air where it's like, this is all so fake. This is all such bullshit. Like this is so like, why? Why are we doing this? What does it mean for us individually? Like, what does Christmas mean to me, if any? You know, what does the holiday, like, who created this? Where did this come from? I get it, there's history, but like, do we have to agree with the history because it's in the calendar? This is when Jesus was born. Like, this is what we have to celebrate. Like, honor Jesus in a different way, or honor Jesus on Christmas, but don't feel like forced or pulled or like you have to do what society's telling you to do. And so I feel like it's really coming up strong right now because it's the end of the year. We're also releasing, doing the final releasing of this 9-year cycle. And it's also to do with a bunch of traditional bullshit that I just am so over. Okay. So yeah, I feel like you definitely feel that energy as well if you're resonating with this. So let me just see what else I have here. Yeah, there's this other message where like, I feel like as you're upgrading your energy and you're elevating, right? You're becoming more conscious. You are becoming more aligned with your higher self. You're also becoming more sensitive. Okay, so you're more sensitive to toxicity. You're more sensitive to maybe toxic foods, alcohol, caffeine, sugar, loud noises, things that are just very overstimulating, maybe even social media, being on your phone, small talk, like just conversations with people that have no meaning and depth, just people who are all about drama. I just feel like you're reaching this point in your journey where you're just like elevating, you're genuinely elevating and upgrading. And so you're becoming hypersensitive to everything. And with that sensitivity comes the recognition of everything that is wrong with our world, and also becoming super aware of like why people do what they do and where it's coming from. And you're just like seeing through the bullshit is what I'm getting. So like the example that I have is like whenever you hear, like, this is just something that pissed me off the other day, and I was like, what the hell? But it was like I was crossing the street, I was going for a walk, and there's a kind of a busy street that I have to cross to get to my apartment, from the park to my apartment. And I was crossing the street, and there was this just for no reason obnoxiously loud car, like popping engine. You know how they have those cars with like pop, 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 pop. But it's so loud. And it's scary. And also, I just came back from a peaceful walk. I'm in my Zen mode. I feel good. There's no one out on the streets. It's a freaking Monday morning. Okay. Yet this car just wants to take up so much space and be so loud and disrupt everybody's peace. Because why? Because you just want attention, because you just want to be loud, because you think it's so cool to have a loud engine, because you're just fucking annoying. That's why. Okay. That's how I see it. So little things like that I'm noticing a lot easier. You know, I'm like hyper alert and hyper aware of these things that are just so annoying. And I'm like, I don't want to be around this, you know? So that was just an example, but I feel like you could definitely be like feeling more of that right now at this time. So yeah, you want to spend more time alone, kind of isolating yourself and away from all of that. Just like finding your own sanctuary, finding your own peace, you know? And I feel like that's what you need to do right now. That's what you need to do right now until you like kind of not figure out what you're going to do next. I feel like your soul's taking you there. It's just divine timing, you know, divine timing. And right now you just need to sit in that discomfort of like the transition. But the main message is that you're just not going to be dealing with this for much longer. Okay. Your world's going to change. Your life's going to change. Your reality's going to change. And you're going to be living a life where you feel a lot more free, you're a lot more in control, you have more options and choices, your soul just feels more aligned with your life, the things you're doing, the hobbies, the activities that you do, you know, you have more freedom. I just feel like you're not fucking around anymore, you know? And this is where your soul is. This is where your soul is. This is where your soul is going. This is where your soul wants to take you. And I feel like you're finally ready for your soul to take you there. You know, you're no longer like, no, soul, like, don't. Like, leave me alone. Like, I want to play small for a little longer. I want to live in fear for a little longer. It's like, I don't know. There's this new you that's emerged that's like, no. I'm not doing that anymore. I am not doing that anymore. I will do whatever it takes. I will do whatever it takes to upgrade myself and my life. Take me where you need to go. You need me to go. You know, do what you want with me. It's like this very like surrendered energy where you're like, just do what you want with me. Like my will is your will, you know, kind of like talking to the universe, talking to your soul. So I do feel beautiful energies for you, for the collective, for me. And I want to, I think, start to provide these types of messages because they feel really authentic to me. These are things that I'm feeling in my soul, just like intuitively, and I'm just putting them out there. And whoever it's connecting with, I know you're my soul tribe, you know, I know you're my soul family. I know you're part of that group of souls that need to bond and be together and kind of promote each other and remind each other of what we're doing here on earth. And I'm not like trying to exclude people or whatever. Everyone's welcome. Everyone's welcome. Even if you're not, you know, a starseed or you don't want to change the world or whatever, just like, if you just feel inspired by making positive changes in your life, becoming a better version of yourself, you know, I'm here for you and we're all here for each other. So that's just kind of like the community that I want to build. If you'd like to work with me one-on-one, I do offer one-on-one sessions. I use tarot as a way to work through a lot of things. So I'm also a tarot reader. I have another channel where I read, you know, I do tarot readings. So all of the links to how you can work with me will be below in the description box. And yeah, I just want to encourage you to continue to follow your path and to be confident in yourself, to trust your soul, to trust the guidance, surrender to divine timing and the universe, and just know that good things are coming for you. I love you so much. Bye.